Okay, we're going to make an object that you're going to use for sort of an introduction to vectors in space. And we're going to do this by taking a sheet of paper and folding it lengthwise, and then folding it once more. So we now have 4 sections. We're going to cut the first section. Okay, so let's isolate that. Right here's the first section. We're at the left-hand side. I'm just going to make a cut that goes up to the fold. Okay, so here's what we've got. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to make another cut. This is going to be at a different angle. It's going to go up to the second fold. Okay, now I did something wrong when I demonstrated this in class. I said the next one should be parallel to this one. Okay, the third cut should be parallel to the first cut, but not quite at the same angle. Well, I should have said it should be, well, the slope of the third cut should be opposite the slope of the second cut. So the second cut, looking at it from where I'm seeing it, has a negative slope. It's decreasing. So the third cut should have a positive slope that's otherwise approximately equal, that's equal in magnitude to the negative slope. That's not going to be exactly equal in magnitude, but I'm going to try to go down here at the same angle at which I went up on the first cut. So let's go about here. Not sure how well I've done that. But of course, it's cheap and easy to try this. Then, you know, you can modify it. If you don't like what you got, try another one, or trim it, whatever. Okay, so now I make the fourth cut, and it's going to be with the same magnitude of slope as the second cut, but in the opposite direction. Second cut is, well, going up to the right, if you want to see it that way, or going up to my right. Anyhow, slope is like this. We want to reverse the slope, so it's going to be like this. So I want to do a slope has about the same magnitude as that one, but a little different. And actually, I'm wrong about that. Okay, I want the last one to come back to the same height as the first one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to match up the original, from my perspective, the original right edge of the paper with the original left edge of the paper. And I'm going to make just a little snip here. See where that is, so that I know where I'm cutting, and it didn't cut. So, never done this before. I think it'd be easy. Okay, there's a little cut. Now, I don't want to go at the angle of that cut. Okay, so this fourth side needs to come up to here, where I've made this little cut. Hopefully you can see that. From here. So all I have to do is start here. Hope I'm keeping this in the screen, and move back to where I made that cut. It's not cooperating very well, but there we go. Okay, now if I join this side with this side, well, that makes kind of a cylinder. But if I crease these folds a little bit, in the right direction, and you need to kind of practice this a little bit. You're probably better at this than I am. Okay, now I've got something that approximates a rectangular solid, a rectangular parallelepiped. That's not a parallelepiped, it's not totally rectangular, okay. Anyhow, we got this. And just looking at this from different angles, you can see that we can see this, we can understand this as a shape that sits on the XY plane. Okay, but let me back up because it's hard to see. I get my right and left messed up here too. I don't do that much of this in front of a camera. Do a lot of things in front of a camera, but not this. Okay, so here's the XY plane. This thing sits in the XY plane. Set it down on a tabletop. That'll be your XY plane. And this will be a truncated parallelepiped, sort of, although the sides aren't parallel. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to measure the edges of this thing. Start by measuring the vertical edges. Here's a vertical edge, here's a vertical edge, here's a vertical edge, and over here where these two come together, and you want to tape them together or something, will be a fourth vertical edge. Then you want to do the horizontal edges, the ones that sit on the XY plane, and then while you're at it, do the sloping edges, the edges up at what we might see as the top of this object here, 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 and here. Of course, label the thing. You've got 4 vertices at the top. So if you label the 4 vertices at the top, then you have 4 numbers that you can use to characterize any of these surfaces or any of the vertices at the bottom. So we might label it 1, 2, 3, 4 up at the top. Or you could label the vertical edges. It'd be enough to give you a reference. So I'm going to give you instructions based on the idea that you can cut this out and label and measure the edges.